Welcome to Lagos Shoemaking Masterclass. This is Omo Bespoke, and today we're going to go into the 101 of pattern making. We'll need masking tape, pen and pencil, different kinds of knives, ruler, preferably a right angle ruler, a punch, measuring tape, tracer, wheel tracer, French curves, a lot of cardboard. We will need a lot of cardboard paper, and of course a shoe last. First thing you do, you tape up your last. So just going to run through taping up this last. Just do it quickly. That's not what we came here for. We came for design. We came for the nitty-gritty of pattern making. So you tape up the last on both sides, and then you generate the center line. I'm going to show you how I typically do my center lines. I draw a straight line on a strip of masking tape. Then I just eyeball the center around the nose, the cone of the last. Just keep eyeballing a few places. You know, you turn it towards yourself, you turn it away from yourself, eyeballing where the center should be. Next thing to be done is just a matter of connecting those dots with the line that you drew previously on your masking tape, and voila, you have your center line. You do the same thing for the back, the center line at the back. The technical name for center lines in shoemaking or pattern making, they are called the main axis. So you have the main axis in front and the main axis at the back. Having generated your center line, next thing to be done is to get the standard last length. So standard last length, you measure it from, the upper third of the back to the tip of the toe of the last. On this last is 32.5 cm. Having gotten the standard last length, which we will represent as SL, next thing to be calculated is a point called the counterpoint. The counterpoint is 20% of your standard last length. That's the measurement of your counterpoint, or 0.2 of your standard last length. Once we get the counterpoint, we will get another line called the vamp line and also the vamp point. So let's go. Vamp line. To get the vamp line, you find the widest parts on this last, which is a simple matter of placing the last on a flat surface, a vertical flat surface, and marking the point where the widest place touches, lies tangential to that flat surface, both on the inside and on the outside. The outside, of course, is technically called the lateral side. The inside is called the medial side. So if you connect those two spots, you have this line. Simple, the vamp line. And the point where the vamp line cuts across the center line is the vamp point. See, that was simple. So we've gotten our vamp line and our vamp point. So let's do that counterpoint that we talked about previously. We said it's 20% of our standard last length. 20% of 32.5 will give us 6.5 cm. So we mark 6.5 from the bottom of the center line. Then we add 1 cm to that counterpoint to generate another point called the heel height. Having done that, we will divide the outside part of the vamp line into two, and then draw a line from the counterpoint, using our measuring tape, of course, from the counterpoint to that middle point on the outside of the vamp line. That line that runs from our counterpoint to this middle point on the outside of the vamp line is called the quarter line. Remember that, it's called the quarter line. So we measure that quarter line. I think on this last it is 19.5 cm. and then we divide it into 4. A right angle from that quarter position. Probably that's why it's called the quarter line. Divide it into 4, draw a right angle from the 1/4 position towards the center line, then add 1.5 cm from that spot to get another point called the instep. The instep is where the shoe opens. So you connect the instep to the heel height to get the opening of the shoe. But I have a trick that I use in generating the curve. What I simply do is to pretend as if I'm drawing a line from the heel height towards that middle position on the outside of the vamp line. Then I divide my quarter line into 2. 19.5 divided into 2 will be about 9.25 or so. Then I connect that middle of the quarter line to my instep. Then I just use a French curve to draw a curve joining that line running from the heel height with the line coming from the instep, and that's the opening. Let's go for another break. So we're back. Now it's time for design. Design is basically a matter of taste. In this case, I'm designing a wingtip Oxford shoe. Just draw in your design lines. This is the point where you have to pay attention to different reference materials. Just Google Oxford wingtip Oxford shoes. See what catches your fancy and just draw them on this line, on this last, and that will inform your design. So that's the end of this part. See you on part 2.